Hello Vapors, Everyday Vapor here again with a hardware review of this little beauty, the eVic VTC Mini from Joyetech. Very kindly sent to me as usual by the guys at GearBest. They do send me a lot of hardware to review, thank you very much. Now this little thing is a mod that takes an single 18650 battery. It's capable of 60 watts, but with the upgradable firmware you can take that up to 75 watts. It also does temp control, so nickel and titanium bills, and it's also got a bypass feature, so you can basically run this as a mech mod as well. So as always, I'll put a link below as to where you can buy this little thing. We're going to look at it close up, we're going to look at its unboxing and also look at its functions up close, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about its technical specifications, how it works and its pros and cons. Comes in this cardboard box. On the box you have the picture of the eVic VTC Mini, firmware upgradable, variable temperature with changeable battery. Three different colours there, black, white or cyan. And that's about it on there. On the back, what we have is a bit about the eVic VTC Mini, bit of blurb there. Then we have the configuration, so I think that's what's in it. The eVic VTC, USB cable, manual and warranty card, and one wall adapter. A 1-amp wall adapter. Didn't get that in the box, so I think that's tickable. So you might get that, you might not. And then you have the colour that you've chosen there. Okay, let's open her up then, let's see what's inside. And straight away we're presented with our mod. Okay, so we can pull the ribbon and just get this mod out of there. And there it is. So we're going to have a look at this in detail, of course, as we always do. So I'm just going to put this to the side for a minute and we'll see what else is in the box. Take out this foam packaging part here, so that's pretty substantial, well protected. And then we have a look underneath this cardboard bit. And we have the warranty card. So there's our warranty card with a scratch check authenticity on there. And then we have our manual, as always, in multiple languages, from English to French to various other languages in there. But we're going to go through all that in this review. And then we have a micro USB charging cable, and you can also use this to upgrade the firmware as well. There we go. So that's it. Let's have a look at the mod then. Okay, aesthetically pleasing. I do like the look of it. Okay, it's still got the square shape of box mods, but it's got rounded curves. It's got the configuration of buttons is slightly different to a lot of mods. USB charging port at the bottom there, massive screen here, we'll see how that looks with the battery. Spring-loaded center pin in there. As you can see, I've been using it and it just seems to be very slightly offset, the 510 there. As you can see, it's a little bit over towards the front of the mod. So we've got this slight gap in the back there. Nothing to cause alarm, but it just means it's just not lined up properly. So, you know, mass produced. Then we have Joyetech logo on the bottom there. On the bottom of it here, just the do not throw away. Okay, we can slide off the back then. And they're held on, this battery door is held on by very strong magnets, and they are very strong. I've had this mod in my pocket and pennies have stuck to it. So they're exceptionally strong. As you can see, you listen for the click as I slide it back in. So very strong. Okay, nice smooth battery sled there. Positive at the top and at the bottom. So looking quite good. Let's just pop a battery in it and see what it's like with a battery in. So now we've got a battery in, let's just have a look at its functions. As you can see, the screen is very well laid out. I'd love to see this on more mods, a screen like this. You have everything very well, easily readable, from your power to the voltage to the atomizer, even to the battery. But we can change all that as well. We're going to have a look at that in a second. First of all, some little functions. You can lock the mod by pressing the minus and the positive button together, and we get key lock. We press them again. It's now unlocked. If we want to put it in stealth mode so the screen doesn't light up, we can press the power button and we can press the minus button here. And it goes into stealth mode, so stealth on. We can come out of stealth mode by repeating the same process. Okay, so let's have a look at how we flick between the various functions on here. So first of all, the various power functions. We're going to press the power button 3 times. And you see the power flashes. If we now press the right hand button, it now goes to bypass mode, as you can see there at the top where it's flashing. If we press it again, we're now into NI, so temperature control, NI. So that's for your nickel builds. We press it again, we go into TI, which is titanium. Press it again, we are back to power. If in power mode, we press the, while it's flashing, we press the left hand button, the negative button, it goes down to battery. Now if we click the right hand button again, we can either have it displaying our amps, so the amps that it's pulling every time we put a build on there, or we can have our puff counter, or we can have the time elapsed. Now the time elapsed is in Joyetech time, it's not a clock. And there we go, back to battery. So I'm going to press it again. I'm going to go into, so the top flash in there, we're going to go to bypass mode. If we press this again, we get the same functions at the bottom there. We're going to talk about bypass mode in a little bit. Okay, let's go back up to the top. So we press down. And now we're going to go into NI. Now we can change various settings in NI. Okay, we can change the amount of power that it takes to get up to that temperature. We can lock in the atomizer by pressing the right hand button. And that would lock it if there was one on there, of course, because there's no ohms reading. And again, we can change the battery set, what's displaying at the bottom. Okay, let's go into temperature. Again, we're now into TI, so we can do exactly the same thing. We can change the power by pressing the, all this is by pressing the negative button. We can change the atomizer, whether we lock it in or unlock it. So it's unlocked. And I can't lock it because there's nothing on there, but and then down to there again. Okay, one more time, back to power. So there are the various functions. As you can see, it's got a lot of functions and it's very easy to use because you don't need to dip in and out of various different settings. I could have the temp mods that we have. Okay, so what next thing is obviously we are going to stick some builds on this and see how it works. So that's the eVic up close and personal. Let's just look at its technical specifications a little bit. Okay, well, as we know, it's temperature control mod and also a variable wattage mod. It goes from 1 to 60 watts. But if you use the firmware upgrade, the latest one, you can take it all the way up to 75 watts. So it's comparable with the IPv-D2. And the firmware process is really easy. You just go to the Joyetech website and you can download the latest updater, and it's very, very simple. Less than 5 minutes you can update it. If you're using this in temperature control, then it's from 1 to 315 degrees centigrade. If you're using it in Fahrenheit, that's 200 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. 510 is spring loaded. Size-wise then, this thing is just over 22 mils across that way. You're looking at 38.2 mils that way, and then height-wise, it's 82 mils high. So it's a very nice little compact mod. Constructed out of stainless steel as well, which is very good. As we looked at, the battery compartment held on by these very strong magnets, clips it in very firmly, and there's absolutely no movement in that. There's no rattle in the mod whatsoever. It feels nice and comfortable in the hand. Okay, so let's just talk about how it vates. Well, I'm using it on nickel at the moment, 315 degrees, 30 watts. And now it's working fine. However, this thing for me was a bit of a pain in the backside to try and get the settings right. It has a habit of going into temperature protection. Unless your settings are absolutely spot on for the build that you're using, it just keeps going into temperature protection. It's working fine now, but before I was vaping it, it stopped like a pulse, but a very slow pulse, which is kind of frustrating because, you know, when you put something on, you want to just set the settings and go. You know, it took a day to get used to how to set this up. Wattage mode works absolutely fine. So in nickel mode it works fine. Let me just put a titanium build on then, and we'll just see how easy it is to switch between the two. So titanium build in this little sub tank here. Click the button 3 times and it flashes. Click 2 there, and that's it. Just turn it up a little bit. I'm going to go up to 450 on this. So working fine. You know, come to the review, it works fine. Before, it was really frustrating just trying to set this thing up. Okay, so apart from those little things, you know, the temp, I'm not sure whether it runs true, because running this alongside the IPv-D2, putting it in the same settings, this tends to run, you need to run it just a little bit higher than the IPv2. So I'm not sure how precise the actual chip is in this. But it's a very good looking mod. It certainly looks the part. I do love the styling, and that screen on there, that OLED screen, is brilliant. It's got all the features you need on there. It's very, very easy to click between the features, as we've seen, and it just looks the business. You know, you get one quick glance and you've got exactly what you need on there. You know, and the way you can also look at the amperage that you're getting out of it. So I'll just change this over now. There we go. Let's just switch this to amps. So very, very simple. Press the power button and it tells you what amps you're drawing out. There you go, into temperature control mode. Okay, I don't know whether you can see that. It keeps swapping over. It works better when you're vaping on it. You need airflow going over the coils with this device. You can't just power it up and expect it to work. It keeps going in. So the airflow over it will prevent that potentially temperature protection mode kicking in. So you can get this in 3 different colours. You can get it in black, get it in the white one that you have here, and also cyan, which is kind of bluey turquoisey colour. Price wise, at the moment, using the link below, you can get this for $36. I'm also putting a code as well, a discount code that will give you the $36. Normally it's about $38. That's about 25, £26 in English money. Comes with a good USB cable as well. It doesn't come with a battery, as most mods don't. And it's nice to see that this Mini, they've now made it so that you can put an 18650 battery in. It's not a LiPo cell in here. So overall, it's a good little mod. Little niggly features about that, the temperature settings. But once you kind of got that cracked, once you kind of got it how to vape how you want it, then it's pretty easy to use. And you know, the accessibility into the features and functions is very, very easy. You don't need to go into different screens. It's all on the same screen, and that just makes it a lot easier to vape with and to switch between different builds, switch between nickel, titanium and Canthal. Okay, so the lowest you can build this on in a variable temperature mode is between, it says 0.05 up to 1 ohm, and if you're using it in bypass mode or variable wattage mode, then it's 0.1 is the lowest you can go, up to 3.5 ohms. Personally, I wouldn't be putting a 0.1 ohm build on a single cell battery. It's just something I personally wouldn't do. You know, 0.2 is the lowest I would go. And this isn't a competition mod. It's not a mech mod. You can use it as a mech mod, but you know, you're looking at amperage not exactly the safest. So there you go, the eVic Mini VTC from Joyetech. You can get that from GearBest. Link below as always as to where to buy it, direct link of where to get it, and a little bit of a coupon code so you can get a bit of discount on it as well. Thank you very much to the guys from GearBest for sending it out. eVic Mini VTC or eVic VTC Mini, check it out.